Good morning, everyone. Hi, welcome to day 2. All right, let's get straight to balancing our energies, shall we? And we are going to start, of course, with the 4 thumps. And we're starting below your eyes, on your cheekbones. And when you're tapping on these thumps, you can use whatever speed and pressure feels right to you. So if you're new to energy medicine, try slowing it down a bit, or perhaps speeding up, and seeing what feels good to you. And now we're going to go about 1 inch below the collarbone, around here. There's actually a little dip if you want to see if you can find that, about 1 inch below. This is the end of your kidney meridian. So when you tap here, you're balancing your kidney energies, but also lots of other areas as well. And now we come right into the middle of the chest. With my zip out away so it's not moving. This one is the thymus thump. This exercise in particular, it's really good for your immune system. It can also help to boost your energy levels. So if you find that you're flagging mid-afternoon, then this thump, and then all the other thumps as well, this entire exercise as a group can be really good mid-afternoon to lift you up. Finally, spleen. There are 2 locations we tap on for spleen. The first is the side of the body, also at the front. And it is nice to do both. You don't have to, but you may find that one of the areas is more sore than the other. This can happen sometimes when people are wearing a wired bra. So if you do have any sore spots, then the tapping will help to clear any congestion in your energies. And of course, if it's quite painful, if it's uncomfortable for you, then don't cause that pain yourself. Go gentler, tap slower. The tapping movement like this helps to break up stuck energy. Okay, so relaxing your arms. Notice, how are you feeling now? Just from the 4 thumps, you may notice a difference already. And next, we will be crossing our energies. Also, one of the most fundamental aspects of the energies. So we'll do some shoulder pulls first, which is where you slide from your shoulder to the opposite hip. And doing several times on each side. And as well as the crossover pulls, we have the cross crawl. And that was where you're lifting one leg and tapping with the other hand, and then alternating. And just like I said on our first day together yesterday, really do what feels right, because with this one, sometimes people can get tired after half a minute or so. So it's totally fine to go at a very leisurely, gentle pace. Maybe your knees will only come up 1 inch or so. This exercise is so crucial for our health and well-being. And when people have illness, and certainly with long-term illness, usually people's energies are not crossing, and people can be really tired and feel really quite low vitality and uncomfortable in lots of ways. And so it might not be comfortable to lift the legs up much. People might come up half 1 inch. So slowing down your cross crawl, bringing it to a close. Next, we will make sure we are all unscrambled. So for the Wayne Cook, you cross one leg over the other. Lower my camera a little. So you'll have a leg crossing, bringing your arms out, palms out, crossing your hands over, clasping your fingers together, and then bringing them underneath like so. And in this exercise, we do several breaths on each side. If you'd like to, you can combine the breath with a rocking motion, which I'll show you. So as you breathe in, stretching your spine up and back a little. And then when you breathe out, relaxing forwards, letting everything go. And continuing to take deep breaths here. And noticing as the moments pass, are you feeling more grounded, perhaps? Are you feeling calmer? Maybe something's been on your mind or your heart, something that's been bothering you, and you might find through unscrambling your energies like this that things feel less prickly and tense, that things weigh on you less. And now let's switch and do the same thing on the other side, so crossing your legs, and again taking several breaths, moving with the breath if that feels right. And now to close the weighing cup, you bring your fingers and thumbs together, resting your thumbs over your third eye and taking a breath or two. And now resting your fingers on your forehead and dragging across to your temples. Giving your hands a shape. And let's do a crown pull. So we're going to continue stretching now, all the way around the head. And as you go, noticing, how does your head feel this morning? Are there any spots where it's a bit sore? Yesterday I was doing some energy medicine with a 10-year-old boy, someone in my family, and we did a crown pull and he said, "Rachel, that's sore." So I said, "Do it a bit gentler, see how it feels." So he reduced the pressure, did that, and then did one with firmer pressure, and it wasn't a sore anymore. So that soreness, almost always that tells us there's some congestion of energy. So when you've got soreness up at your head, it's nice to spend a bit more time stretching there and ease off on the pressure. Let's do a second crown pull now so you can feel that. And when you go through a second time, you might notice a difference. Remembering when there's less discomfort, less tension, that almost certainly is telling you there's more space, that you've made space in your energies for energy to move. And that's so critical. Energy needs space to move. And taking your hands off, releasing any excess energy, perhaps you've moved away, like raking away in the garden, any excess, and then sending it back to Mother Earth. Taking a breath, noticing how you're feeling before we go on to the next exercise. And now bringing your hands to rest at your pubic bone, and let's zip up our energy. So just like you've got a jumper with a zip at the front, you're going to sort of close up your energies in a protective way. So coming all the way up the front of your body, over the top of your head, and then bringing your arms all the way back down, touching the edges of your aura as you go. And let's combine with the breath. So breathing in and coming all the way up. And as you breathe out, your arms come down. Let's do the third time. And the fourth time. And we're going to do one final time, this time locking it in at the lips. So coming all the way up the central meridian, which ends here. And now turning your hands, locking that in. And let's go to a hook up next. So you put your middle finger in your belly button, or you could do it above or below, and also above your nose. And then in both places, pushing in and pulling up a little bit. So you can feel a bit of pressure there. Holding this hook up for several breaths. Allowing the energies of your central and governing meridians to connect in a loop. And as you're holding here, staying present with yourself, noticing, how am I feeling? How are you feeling physically in your body? How do you feel emotionally? And then let's not keep our arms up too long. So shaking your arms off as much as you like. And when you do the hug up at home, by the way, for those of you who don't know, it's wonderful to do it for longer sometimes. So do take care of your body, sit or lie back, put some pillows or cushions under your elbows, and you'll be able to hold for much longer. Okay, let's do connecting heaven and earth. We'll begin once again with our hands on our legs. So you don't have to do this particular bit to begin the exercise, but it is a very nice way to start. It's very grounding, and the more that you take this position, literally just having your hands somewhere on your legs with the intention to support grounding, as you do this over time, you'll improve your ability to ground, and eventually you should arrive at a point where just by having your hands on your legs, that will help to boost your grounding, which is really helpful if you're in a public situation, or when I was first teaching several years ago, and I used to be quite shaky with my grounding for a long time. So it was wonderful to be able to be in a group of people talking and leading and just ground in a moment. So my question is to you now, having held for half a minute or so, are you feeling more grounded? And let's see what connecting heaven and earth does for your grounding, because that's one of the benefits. So we're going to start in a prayerful position, and breathing in, you have one arm palm up in the air, the other one palm down, creating a stretch here and holding your breath. Noticing where can you feel the stretch. And then as you breathe out, coming back to the prayerful position, doing the same thing on the other side. Again, noticing where do you feel the stretch. And then breathing out, coming back to the middle, and we'll do the same thing on each side again. Noticing what feels different this time. As you're stretching, you're making space. And then this final time, breathing out, folding forwards gently. If you have any back issues, then bend your knees. That will help to protect your back. And just like a rag doll, really seeing if you can let everything go here. This can really create a lot of space all down your back and the backs of your legs. Maybe you can feel the stretch there, so breathing into it, sending the breath down there, helping the energy to move. And now beginning to move from side to side. And as you go, making some figure eights. So you could think of an elephant's trunk if you like. Imagine that your arms swinging round like a trunk in figure eights and coming back up. And continuing with a few more figure eights. There are so many benefits to figure eights, we could chat about it for hours. Next, we are going to do a very powerful aura exercise, the Celtic Weave. So rubbing your hands together to begin. Shaking them off. And then rubbing them together again, building up a bit of energy here now. You may feel some heat. And then opening up your hands as wide as feels right. And just noticing what you feel, if anything. And bringing your hands to the sides of your head. We'll take a breath here. And now we're going to weave the aura. So breathing in, bringing your elbows together and arms across. As you breathe out, coming out to the side. Same thing in front of your waist. So breathing in and crossing. Breathing out, coming out to the side. Now your knees. And then if it's comfortable, your ankles, or you could come back up to your waist. And then returning to standing, making circles, rolling and fluffing. And these circles can be any speed, also any size. You could do some really big ones. See what feels good for you and your energies. Okay, now allowing your arms to relax, rest wherever they naturally go, and taking a minute or so just to tune in, perhaps closing your eyes if that helps you get more awareness, and scanning your body all the way down, noticing the different areas. Are there any parts of your body where it's common that you have some pain or tension? I think most of us have hot spots, if you will. Mine is my lower back. So bringing your attention to any areas in particular and just noticing, does anything at all feel different? And we are going to move on to the radiant circuits. So the radiant circuits are a favourite of a lot of people. And I can tell you so many stories about times they have lifted me emotionally and also out of tiredness as well. So these circuits are all about joy, ease. So in the more difficult, stressful moments, these exercises could well be a go-to for you. Before you do anything else for your energies, try the radiant circuits. They can really boost your spirits. And we will start with belt flow. So belt flow opens up the middle of your body. It tends to be grounding as well as bringing in joy. And so with the speed and pressure of your choosing, you come over 3 or 4 times, and then you pick up the energy at the opposite waist and smooth all the way down the side of your leg, come all the way off your foot. And then doing the same thing on the other side. And now we're going to trace penetrating flow. And I'd like to share with you a key piece about penetrating flow that may resonate. So I wonder, have you ever had the experience of looking at something like a sunset, or maybe you've been out in the woods or the beach in a really picturesque location, but maybe there's been a lot going on in your life with stress, and you've been looking at that waterfall or that seashore, and you've not really appreciated it. You've not been able to connect with the beauty of it. That tells us that your radiant circuits and penetrating flow are not fully harmonized, because when we can't take things in deeply and really fully experience them in a deep way, that suggests there's an issue in the flow of the energy with penetrating flow. So the more that you work with the energies of penetrating, you'll be able to bring in and really feel deeply through your being the beauty of things. And your penetrating flow will help you to discern what to take in and what not to take in. So sometimes there are things that you might not want to take in. I'll say one more quick thing, then we'll do it. Occasionally I'll watch television shows that my partner likes to watch, and I don't like sort of gruesome things, but once in a while we'll watch something that has the odd bit gruesome in it. So if there's a scene coming up and I think I don't want to take it in, then I'll cover my mouth, the end of penetrating flow. So if you ever in life, if there's something that you don't want to take in the energy of it, then one of the things you can do is just covering. Just holding your hand over your mouth at the end of penetrating flow. Okay, let's trace it. So penetrating flow is the one that starts behind your belly button, so around here, and breathing in. As you breathe out, lowering your hands to your tailbone, breathing in and coming up and over like a horseshoe, and as you breathe out, down to your pubic bone. And then breathing in and coming up the midline. Once you reach your mouth, breathing out and tracing some figure eights here. And I feel strongly called to do that one again. So let's do it again together. If it doesn't feel right for you to do it again, just hold here for a minute or so and work with your grounding. So the start of penetrating in the small of your back, we take a breath in here, breathing out, lowering, breathing in, coming up and round, breathing out, come to the bottom here, and then as you breathe in, you come up, penetrating at the front, and you breathe out and trace some figure eights. And now we are going to go on to the bridge flows. So yin bridge starts at the power point. So that's the big dip, remember, at the top of your neck here. So holding both of your hands in that dip. And then coming up over the top of your head, resting on your forehead for a breath. Coming through the gap here onto your cheekbones, tapping for a couple of seconds. Now coming below your collarbone, tapping on the kidney points. And now radiant circuits love hearts. They respond very well to heart shapes. So now you trace 3 hearts over your chest. Resting your hands flat now on your tummy, smoothing now all the way down the fronts of your legs. When you get to your feet, coming off the sides of the feet, and you can squeeze your feet if you want as you go, squeezing the sides of your feet like so, also good for your radiant circuits. And then we go on to the yang bridge. So the yang bridge, you make horizontal figure eights. And they're about the width of your body, and you want to go at least once down from head to toe. If there's ever anything at all that's not comfortable for you, there are loads of different reasons why sometimes an exercise might not be comfortable, like an injury, for example. That's fairly common. So you can always visualise, you know, if you're struggling to bend forwards or anything like that, visualising the technique can be often a very powerful way to get your energies balanced. I've done everything we're doing this morning. I've done sat in the window seat of an aeroplane about 5 or 6 years ago when I went to Arizona for some training, and I could feel the difference in my energies. So that visualization process, it's a muscle like anything, and the more you use it, the more powerful it can be. And now, having built up this nice column of eights for your yang bridge, we're all going to turn around and about turn, or you can visualize if you prefer, and you're going to receive these eights at the back of your body. So just holding here and trusting that your yang bridge is harmonizing. Noticing how you are feeling. Did you like the bridge flows? There are always exercises that stand out to people more than others. So I invite you to notice which exercises do you feel the best from, even if it's only subtle. And then you can do more of those at the times that you really need them. Now we'll connect the bridge flows from the front to the back. So we do figure eights from the front to the back, creating a bridge. And it can be nice to go down and do over your legs, come higher up as well. Really making sure that that bridge is connected. And if you ever want to create an energetic bridge between yourself and another person, it could be a friend and maybe you've had a small disagreement and you actually want to rebuild some harmony between you, then if you actually figure eight, imagine that your dear friend Jane was here and you wanted to create that connection, you can figure eight between the two of you. So just a tip there to throw out. Now we do the regulator flows. So yin regulators at the front of the body and starts with a heart on a stick. So tracing a heart, coming down. Now moving into this position and smoothing down your arms, resting your hands at the top of your body and smoothing all the way down, all the way off your feet. And then for Yang Regulator, you come round your ears, back onto your shoulders, smooth down to the elbows, and then reaching up at the back of your body now, and smoothing all the way down the backs of your legs, and again off your feet. And once again, taking a moment to tune in and notice, how are you feeling? And now, let's go on to the vagus nerve. So resting a hand at your neck, however's comfortable. You might even see, how does it feel if I just put a finger or a few fingers there? That can really work very well as well. And then your other hand's resting on your lower belly with your thumb gently popped inside your belly button. Balancing your vagus nerve for a few minutes while I share some light language as a blessing for your day today. Isa. Ikona uasi sonna 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 suka shana shana shansasa sisasa uaka upe sisone tuana ukese shufala Susana, Tikana, Iakasa, Patasa, Akakakaka, Fanasi. I invite you to take several deep breaths. And if your eyes are closed, fluttering them and allowing them to open. Yesterday, some people had messaged me asking for a bit more information about the light language. So I'll just say very briefly now, there will be more information coming on my website very soon. But so that you are a bit more aware today, one of the movements I was making organically, so there was not an intention ahead of time, but I was doing a circular motion. So this is something that brings up the Yin Vortex. So part of this blessing was about bringing up the Yin from Mother Earth. One of the most grounding things we can actually do when you do these circles below your feet, helping you to bring up this Mother Earth Yin energy, which is nurturing in so many respects. Creates a cocoon of energy around you for support, like a container. So my blessings to you with your energetic cocoon today. And one final piece as a message for you. See what the universe would like to send through. One of my energy teachers used to say, use your non-dominant hand, which for me is my left, and go over and see what tingles. So there's a tip for you in case that helps. Now the message is, Dream a beautiful dream. So I'll give you a moment to take in the beauty of that picture. Dream a beautiful dream. So I send this to you as a blessing for the day. Thank you again for joining. I will upload the recording once again and look forward to hopefully seeing you tomorrow or maybe one of the days to come. Have a fantastic day.